Hi, it's Martin. Welcome to another Knit365 video. This is a November, December update, as well as a bit of end of year roundup. It was a bit crazy coming out of Vlogtober. November, I spent most of the month knitting on the Foxy jumper, which you will see later in this video. And then I went straight into Vlogmas, and then it was just a bit crazy to do an end of November roundup in the middle of December, in the middle of the Vlogmas videos. So I feel like I owe you a bit of a roundup to end the year with. So I'm going to follow the usual format that my monthly videos take. We'll talk about works in progress, some finished objects, and any stash acquisitions. But more of a year-end spin as well, and a bit of a look back over some of my projects for 2020. So jumping straight in, the usual way I start is by talking about my works in progress, and I currently have 12 works in progress. Now actually this is 3 down from the October video. So it's going in the right direction, and of those 12 there are 3 that are still to be frogged. I've talked about those in previous videos, and the 3 that are going to be frogged, 2 of them are definitely going to be replaced where I'm not really enjoying those projects, and the yarn will be repurposed for other projects that I hope to get to in 2021. So 12 works in progress, it's going down in the right direction. Lots of plans for 2021 though, so I'm under no illusions that that is going to increase at some point. If I talk about my finished objects then, since I last sat down and talked through my projects, the first one to share with you, because I've actually got 6 finished objects. It's been a good end of the year. The first one to share with you is Winston the Aardvark. How cute is he? I started this last December. I started Winston last December. He was a cast-on treat in between Christmas and New Year. And I don't know why, he languished in the whip pile then. I just did other things. So this is Winston. He is amigurumi pattern by Kerry Lord of Toft. And he's just the cutest. He's got a little firm tail and a little firm body and this wonderful beak / elephant style nose. So I wanted to do Winston because I really like the brown tones, and he lives on our computer desk in the home office / hallway that we have. I bought some glasses. I found a doll vendor on Etsy who makes these little glasses, and I feel like Winston lives in the office, and of course he needs some glasses which make him look even more intelligent. So we love Winston. So that's number 1 of my finished objects, and actually a really good one to get done. I said I started him last December, so it's only taken me 11 months to get this one finished, but he was off the needles first week in November, around that time I think. The next finished object to share with you, you will all be familiar with if you've watched my Vlogtober series, and it is my Slip Stravaganza shawl. So this is the wonderful mystery knit along shawl that I did, which is the pattern by Stephen West. I'm not going to show off any more than this. If you are new here and you've not seen any of the Slip Stravaganza madness, feel free to go back and check out the Vlogtober series where I talk about the Slip Stravaganza and I chart my progress week by week through the mystery knit along. But yeah, it's still one of my favourite knits for 2020. So we've got Slip Stravaganza. The next pattern is the For Fox's Sake sweater, Steady, which was a birthday knit that I made for my very, very good friend Sharon. It was her birthday on the last working day of November, and in previous videos I've talked about making progress through that, wanted to get it done for her birthday. But of course, lockdown happened and it wasn't quite finished in time for her birthday. It was finished to the point that I thought the sleeves were the right length and the body was the right length, but I hadn't bound them off because I wanted to see Sharon, let her try it on so I could just make sure that the fit was perfect. I'm going to stop this video momentarily here because I've recorded a little bit of footage from the final stages. So there's a little bit as I've blocked the sweater, and then there's a lovely little bit of footage where I was fortunate enough to see Sharon and she tried it on. So I'm going to insert that footage now. Ho, ho, ho. There we go. Jumper is done. Most of the ends are sewn in. There's just the ones at the end of the sleeves and the body still to go. So Sharon can just try it on. I think the length is perfect. So it's just going in for a soak. So I thought I would just show you the magical powers of blocking. Might have put a few too many bubbles in. It'll be fine. I'm going to rinse it anyway. See you in half an hour. Well, it is Vlogmas after all. Better get the tree in. There we go. It is blocked. I'm not pinning it out. It's just a light blocking. So I'm really happy with the sizing of it. Excuse all the shadows. The light is behind me because, as you can see, it is black as the night out there. So yeah, it's had its little soak, and the blocking is amazing. I'll take a better picture in the daylight, but all these floats have evened out. There are no lumpy bumpy bits. I'm just so pleased and amazed with how good the blocking makes things look. So there we go, there's my really graphic foxy yoke. And then, as I said, I've not pinned it out. I'm happy with the shape, so I've just laid it out flat, and then it can dry nice and flat. And this video will go up at some point before Christmas. I'm hoping to socially distanced see foxy friend Sharon, and she can try it on, and hopefully she'll want to star in the video and you can see it on the model. But there we go. Look at those cute little foxes. Okay, in exciting jumper news, it is finished.
Foxy jumper, I love it.
Ah, do you like it?
I absolutely adore it.
Ah, awesome. I love it too. Look, those little foxes. That's not a close-up on her boobs.
I don't care.
Yeah, so I just need to sew the ends in. I left them just in case the arms needed adjusting, so I'll quickly sew those ends in. But Foxy sweater is done. Happy birthday, Sharon.
Thank you both, love you lots.
I know I said that the Slip Stravaganza is possibly one of my favourite projects from 2020. The For Fox's Sake Maybe, another favourite pattern from 2020. Don't get me wrong, the colour work was very, very challenging. In lots of patterns where you have colour work designs, you're usually only working with 2 yarns in a round. So it's easy to do two-handed or to just manage two yarns as you're knitting. This was a 45 or 50 round design, and I think there was 1 row, maybe 2 rows that only had 2 colours. It was pretty much 3 colours in every row. So it was a bit of a head scratcher, but I hope you agree, the finished result is just amazing, and Sharon loved it, which actually makes it all worthwhile, and that was the much yeah, I really enjoyed being able to gift that across to Sharon. So that was the third one that I finished. That was the For Fox's Sake sweater, and that was by Maxim Cyr, who was also the designer from a few months ago where I made the Unbearable hoodie for niece number 2. So Max also designed that hoodie. The fourth project then is the boho blanket, also referred to in some previous videos as the mega blanket. Again, I'm not going to say too much about this because actually there's a project vlog going to come shortly in the new year that charts my progress all the way from starting that pattern, having a knitting lesson, a crochet lesson even, all the way through to finishing. I will pause this video again. I'm going to try and put in a little bit of footage from the recording that I did for that mini project vlog. It may not be easy to edit it together because I need to try and get the bit to show you the finished object. But I'll put up a bit of footage in here now. And yeah, it's finished. It's way too big for me to try and show it off. Like, I've tried all ways to lay it out and I can't. So I'm just gonna show it off standing up. So here we go in all its glory. So there's the border that I finished. And I think I said it's almost like a little picot border in knitting. It's just a chain, then a stitch, and then another chain. I won't tell you because obviously copyright. But yeah, so the border is finished. And then we've got this lovely pattern that you've seen me create. Yeah, it's way too big for me to be able to show you. If I hold it, you can see it's probably single bed size. So that was the boho blanket, and Mark's mum really enjoyed receiving that as a gift on Christmas Day. She was really appreciative. And that makes it all worthwhile. You know, sometimes we do gift knitting and we always worry whether the recipient will enjoy it, but Mark's mum definitely loved that. I'm not going to say too much more about that blanket. As I said, there's a separate project vlog coming sometime in the new year. I just need to edit all the footage together. So you'll hear more about that in January. And then the final project, which is my final finished object for 2020, is the wonderful Toft Ed's Advent crochet along. So again, you've probably seen this if you've watched some of my Vlogmas videos. This was the wonderful Advent that I had where we received a little bit of the pattern each day, and throughout December created this wonderful doll. Mine is a wintry wizard. And in the last video, I kind of handed control over to you, my lovely Knit365 community, and asked you to name my creation. So thank you very much for all of your suggestions. There were some great entries, and we've chosen the entry by the lovely Jeanette, who suggested Llewelyn, which was just the best choice. So I used the random generator and it's perfect. Jeanette commented that Llewelyn is Welsh for lion, and with the mane, it couldn't be any better. So everyone, meet Llewelyn, my white wizard. So thank you very much, Jeanette. And that's my final finished object for 2020. So I actually finished the whole year with 26 projects, a mixture of knit and crochet, some big projects like my slip extravaganza, some smaller projects like Winston, there's a couple of hats, a few gloves. And if you would indulge me ever so slightly, I've put together a little bit of footage that shows all of those projects that I made throughout 2020. And for me personally, it was lovely to be able to look back to the start of the year before lockdown happened. Like, it feels so long ago. But there are some lovely projects that I'm quite proud of. So I'm going to roll the footage, and I hope you enjoy seeing some of the things that I've made. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you saw something in there that maybe has given you a little bit of inspiration, whether it's a knit or a crochet project, perhaps something that you would like to try yourself. I wondered if there's any patterns that I've made throughout 2020 that you've made too. You know, let me know in the comments. I always love chatting to you all and learning more about what you're knitting or you're crocheting. So I guess looking forward, I've only really got one work in progress that I'm actively doing at the moment. I know in most videos I've got like 4 or 5 things that I'm like, oh, I want to make this and I want to work on that. But after the success of Slipstravaganza, it's keeping my legs nice and warm. After the success of Slipstravaganza and the fox jumper and the boho mega blanket, I've done some really big projects. So it's quite nice. I'm only working on one thing, and it's the simplest pattern. This is a Tin Can Knits pattern, and it's the flax light jumper. So I think I showed in a previous video, probably October, it might have been September, as part of my stash top up, I bought some of this lovely Bo Peep yarn. I'm gonna make a flax light jumper for niece 1, who is 6, and niece 2, who is 3 nearly. Niece 1 chose this colour. She wanted a purple, and this is the Bo Peep in West Yorkshire Spinners. It's a 4-ply, so they do a double knit version, which I've used on some of my projects. This is the 4-ply version. So I'm just working on this. It's the simplest jumper. It's a top down. There's no shaping because it's perfect for children. There's no right or wrong way. They can just grab it and put it on. It's got this lovely little feature that comes down the arm. So it's a raglan sweater, so you can see the little raglan shaping here that create the sleeves. And then this lovely little detailing that's going to go all the way down. And now I've split for the sleeves. It's just mindless. It's just round and round and round and round. So at the moment, I'm quite enjoying the simplicity of this flax pattern. And my plan is to finish this one and the sleeves, and then cast on the same pattern again for niece 2. I don't have the wool with me, but I'll show you that in another video. It's more of a mild effect, a pinky grey. I'm not bored of it yet, but of course there will be other projects I'm sure that will be calling to me. One of the projects I would really like to pick back up again is the shawl that I started. I'll pop a little picture on screen now that reminds you of that. I started that many months ago and it went into hibernation. It's the Herbivore shawl, again a Stephen West pattern. So I'd like to pick that back up. It needs a little bit more concentration because of the increases that you have to do for the shawl to grow. So I might try and do a little bit of work on that in January. But for now, the flax light is my main project. And yeah, sometimes I think you need a bit of a break from when you've done quite complicated things that take a lot of brain power. It's nice to just be able to work on something very, very mindless. So that's my current work in progress. And then 2 other projects that are going to be works in progress. I don't know when I'm going to cast them on. Again, probably at least one of them in January. But this moves us on to works in progress and stash top-ups. So I've not bought any wool. I didn't buy any wool in November and I didn't buy any wool in December, which is great. But Santa Claus bought me some wool. I've had some lovely woolly gifts, so I thought I would just show off some of the lovely things that I had. My parents asked me for some gift ideas and I sent them to Isolde Teague's website. And they've bought me some kits. So this is the Oram, I'm going to say that wrong, Oram slippers. Look at those. So they're going to be perfect house slippers, thick wintry socks to wear around the flat. So I really like that, but instead of the colours in the picture, I've gone for these colours. So we've got, this is a it's a dark navy. It's looking more blacky grey on the camera because of the light, but it's more of a navy with the yellow and then a light grey. Really interesting construction. I've looked at the pattern. You start the sole of the foot by holding all three colours together, so you're actually knitting with the three colours, and it gives a really, really thick, dense fabric. So I'm really looking forward to starting that. Mine will be slightly different. So where you have the black here in the motif, that's actually going to be yellow. So it's going to be really nice and bright. Perfect colours for me. Grellos, yellows, greys, blues. I love anything like that. So I sent Mum a suggestion and I had that. So that was very good. And the other one, I've set myself a challenge with this pattern. It was one that if I had it as a gift, fantastic, because I'd love to have a go at making them. If I didn't get it, it's probably okay because they look really complicated. But this is the Millet Mittens. And again, this is an Isolde Teague pattern. And I just love them. Look, they're so warm. They look so cozy. I'm actually going to do it in the colours. So this was just the kit that my parents bought. So again, I'm really looking forward to doing that. I really want to improve my colour work. And you might be thinking, well, you've just done that fox jumper. That sounds quite complicated. But I think I've talked in previous videos that for my colour work, I really struggle to do two-handed. I have tried it before on some patterns, but my default style for speed and tension is just to hold both the colours in my right hand, and I just keep switching the colours. But with this, because it's going to be small knitting in the round, I'm really going to try and do this two-handed and improve my technique. So I'm really looking forward to getting that cast on the needles. So stash top-ups, but not by me. So they are welcome into the house. So I'm looking forward to getting started. I said, hopefully, at least one of those will get on the needles in January. Another great gift I had of Santa is this. This is the Saltwater Mittens pattern book. And this is by Christine Legro and Shirley Scott from the island of Newfoundland. Now, I didn't know this at the time. I did ask Santa for this because I mentioned I want to make more mittens, and there are some wonderful patterns on here. The thing I really like that is intriguing is this pattern book gives you patterns for mittens, all covered in, gloves with fingers, and something that is unique apparently to Newfoundland is the trigger glove. So here, you can hopefully just make it out, definitely here as well. So you have a standard thumb, then you have one finger, and then three fingers as a mini mitten. And that's if you're out working in the forest, because that's what I'm going to be doing. You're able to have your finger and your thumb for easier manipulation while you're working, and then these three stay snug and cozy together. So that's a really cool design technique, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. And Newfoundland, I don't talk a lot about my love of musical theatre, but Come From Away is one of my favourite musicals. It's the saddest story that started around 9/11, but is the most uplifting, and it's an amazing tale of humans and how we can be kind to each other. And if you know the musical Come From Away, you will probably equally be as excited as me seeing that this pattern book comes from Newfoundland, which is where the musical is set. If you've never heard of Come From Away and you like musical theatre, go and check out the cast recording. It's just amazing. So I'm looking forward at some point in 2021 to casting on a few of the wonderful mittens in this book. And then a couple of other little things that I had as stocking fillers. I had some stitch markers from Stephen and Penelope. Santa was very good to me. These are lovely little bicycles, of course, from Amsterdam. A few of you recommended that I had some of these, and Santa listened. I have some stitch stoppers. If you saw my October video, I think it was, I tried to show off the For Fox's Sake sweater and kept dropping the stitches. And lots of you commented about just put it down or get some stitch stoppers, stop dropping stitches, it's very stressful. It was very stressful. But Santa bought me some of those, which is fantastic. And then these are called floops. And I saw these and I did put these on my Christmas list and Santa obliged. So these are multi-purpose stitch markers. So you can use them as a stitch marker or a catcher. You drop the stitch, slide it in. Cable needle, or actually just a stitch marker that you can pop onto your knitting. So I think if you're out and about, these are brilliant to have in your stash. So I'm really excited to have got some of these. Yeah. So floops. So this was, they were from the Stephen and Penelope website. So Santa Mark is very good to me. So few little knickknacks, and then my final present I wanted to show off is a new set of needles, which was a gift from my mother-in-law. So I'm very lucky that my family are so supportive of my crafty ways. So I had some Chowgu, I think is the pronunciation, some Chowgu shorties. So again, another interchangeable needle set. I usually use higher sharps, that's my go-to needles. But of course, in small circumference knitting, like gloves, or sleeves in the round, these are going to be brilliant. So you have the choice of a long needle, depending on what you're working on, but you also have the shorty. And I think I've talked in previous videos about the Addy sock wonders that are basically a short 9-inch, 6-inch. It's a small cable needle, but it has one short tip and one long tip, which is perfect for knitting in the round and for sleeves. So these, I asked for these because the range goes from a 3.5 up to a 5mm, so they're going to be perfect for me for sleeves. You know, I'm wearing my Rory cardigan, which was made knit flat, but it's not very often that I do a knit flat sleeve and seam it up. I really do like top down or bottom up projects. So these are going to be fantastic. So I was very, very lucky and spoiled that I've had another interchangeable needle set, but absolutely one that is going to be used and will be used on that jumper when I get to starting the sleeves. And that's it, I think. That's all I really wanted to cover off in terms of where we got to by the end of the year, covering my November and December activities. And I hope you enjoyed a little bit of a look back. I really enjoyed pulling that footage together before I sat down to record this afternoon, showing all the projects that I made in 2020. I've said there's going to be a project video coming up in January for the boho blanket. And I'm also going to record a look forward video for 2021. There's a number of projects that I had on my sort of Instagram does a 9 in 9. So you have your 9-box grid showing the nine projects that you want to make. There's probably 4 or 5 on my list that I managed this year, but of course there's others that I haven't, so they will be carried forward. There's some other projects that I want to make, so I'm going to do a separate video that sets out some plans and objectives for 2021. So I'll be back in early January with that video to kind of plan out a bit of a look ahead. And I'd love to know what you're going to be working on as well. So from a community perspective, it will be great to hear what you're making when that video comes out in a few weeks' time. But I guess all I just want to say to finish now is really thank you very much for watching. 2020 has just been a crazy year with the worldwide pandemic. Most of us will have been locked up, safe at home for the majority of it. There are obviously lots of you are key workers, frontline workers around the world that are going out and continuing to work to keep us safe. So thank you very much if you are one of those people that have been continuing to work throughout the pandemic. I've been so fortunate that my job allowed me to work from home. And I've really taken some solace in knitting and crocheting and really starting this channel. I think it was April, May time that I started recording these videos, and there are now over 750 of us in the community here on YouTube. I really enjoy chatting to you in the comments. I've really enjoyed trying to find different ways of keeping the content fresh and engaging with everybody, whether that was Vlogtober or Vlogmas, me breaking down in the car and waiting for the tyre and making Christmas cakes and all the other little things about life that get in the way of us knitting and crocheting. So thank you very much for spending time with me and for watching. If you enjoy watching my videos and you don't subscribe, please feel free to click on the subscribe button. You'll get a notification then when I post another video. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, but it really helps me out here to grow my community on YouTube. If you like these videos, again, give me a thumbs up or a like. It helps me and helps you as well, because YouTube will think that you like my content and will recommend other knitty, crafty related content that you could get involved in. And of course, please feel free to comment below. Let me know what your favorite project was for 2020. If you use Instagram or Twitter, please feel free to tag me. I am at Welsh_tenor. My details are in the notes below. Tag me in your pictures. Let me know and let me see what your favorite makes were. If you don't use those platforms, that's absolutely fine. Feel free to comment below and let me know what you are working on. I really do appreciate the time, you all taking the time to chat to me. So for now, I'm going to leave it there. Have a wonderful rest of your festive break, whatever you are getting up to. If you're watching this in 2020, I wish you all a prosperous new year. And if you're watching this in 2021, I hope you enjoyed celebrating the new year however you could. But until we speak again, happy crafting.